Hey Mel, how you going?
I'm good, Carly. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
The way?
Um, yeah, thanks for jumping online today. I know that you're interested in studying the Diploma of Counselling. And so, as you know from emails, I'm one of the lead teachers on the course. And so I thought it would be useful just to catch up, have a chat, get to know each other a little bit, and find
Yeah.
a bit more about your learning needs, just so we can make
Okay.
sure that when you are in the course, you're supported and the course is suited to what you're looking for at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, sounds
Cool.
good. Thank you for
All
making the
right.
time. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So today, what would look like is just us having a chat. I'll ask you some questions about your learning and about what you want to get out of the course.
Okay.
Um, but if you have any questions along the way, please let me know. And also, if you're not sure why I'm asking a question, I'm happy to clarify and talk about the purpose of it, just to make sure
Okay.
that this is as useful for you as it is for us as well.
Sounds good. Yeah. Beautiful.
So before we get started, do you have any questions about today or about the course in general?
Um, no, I mean this is really important to me. I really want to complete the course.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, it's all good. I just would really like to finish it. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I can see that passion and how motivated you are for the course, which is great to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what I'll do is, like I said, get some information from you today, and then what I'll do is just compare your language literacy and numeracy skills against what's required for the course. And so then we can see, yeah, what areas are best suited and kind of you'll find easy enough to complete, and what areas there may be some gaps, and if so, how we support you in those gaps.
Okay.
Um, and what I do is I do that by comparing different units, so different subjects from the course. And I'm going to compare one which is CHCCSL 004, which is a mouthful, but it's all about selecting and using counselling therapies.
Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you have any questions about that?
Mm. All
No?
good. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So first off, a bit about yourself. Have you studied before?
Now I have. So about 2 years ago, I completed a certificate 4 in community services.
Oh, cool. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was good. There were some parts that were hard,
Mm.
but there were some parts that I really enjoyed, particularly the role play assessments I found. Yeah,
Yeah.
I found that easier than the written kind of work. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like there was a mixture in the course of written work or written assessments and role play or practical assessments. And the
Yeah.
practical assessments, it sounds like, were the ones that you found the easiest or kind of the
Yeah.
most enjoyable.
Yeah.
Why do you reckon that was?
I think it's easy for me to learn by watching others,
Okay.
and then practicing the skills. I find it it just seems to work for me. But
Mm.
I find that when I have to write, um, especially writing, it's a bit difficult for me.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I have dyslexia, so yeah, so
Okay.
it's hard for me to be reading and
Mm.
writing and yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would make sense for reading and writing to be difficult if you have a
Mm.
diagnosis of dyslexia.
Yeah.
Um, Achievement to get a Cert 4 completed.
Yeah,
Um,
it took a bit though. It took had a couple of course extensions and but
okay.
I did have one-on-one learner support, which I found really helpful as well because I was able to
Oh,
really talk
beautiful.
through my answers and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one-on-one support sounds like it was useful in order to get your work done and maybe
Yeah.
help with some of those skills, as well as extra time to get the work done.
Yes.
Any other supports or resources that you use that helped you get the course done?
Yeah, so changing the color of the paper of the background, like
Okay.
particularly on the PowerPoint slides or any handouts, that's been really helpful as well. I do wear special glasses to help.
Okay.
Um, but just having those extra resources does make it easier for me when I'm reading and yeah.
Mm. Yeah, right. Okay.
Mm,
So you
mm.
got a few things up your sleeve that are helpful and sounds like things that you do that you're in control of, but also things that the teaching staff or the us as teachers can do in terms of maybe changing some slide colors or resources
Yeah,
that are more easy for you to engage with.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's awesome. It sounds like you're really aware and really proactive in taking those steps to be in control of your learning.
Mm.
So it sounds like you cert for, did you say it was 2 years ago? Is that when you completed it?
2 years ago, so 2022.
Yeah, okay. Right. Um, Curious, this question might sound a bit silly, but I wonder if you can answer it. Can you tell me about something that you learned recently? So it might be something formal, or it might be something more informal, like learning a new skill on the computer or a dance routine or something that you've learned in the last few months.
Um, mm, yes, actually, I learned a new recipe.
Yeah, right. What was the
Yeah.
recipe?
Um, it was beef stroganoff.
Oh, delicious. Good weather for stroganoff at the moment.
Yeah.
Uh, Curious, how did you learn the recipe?
Well, one of my girlfriends, she was talking about how she made it, and
Mm,
she sent me a link to this recipe. And so then I just opened it up, and yeah, it was the way it was all written, and it was very all the methods were written out very clearly, so it was easy for me to read and to follow it
mm.
as I was cooking. Yeah,
Okay.
so I thought I'd just try something different because I'm tired of eating the same things all the time. So I thought I'd try something different.
Yeah.
And so I did.
Awesome. And so it sounds like even though the directions were written, because of the
Mm,
sequential way it was stepped out, it's quite clear. So you're able to follow it. And also it sounds
yeah,
like you're doing at the same time as reading. So perhaps that kind of practical element
yeah,
helped you to stay on track or to
yeah, yeah. So there was a clip that you watched first.
the
So
watching as
you
well.
were able to
Okay.
watch it. And then below it kind of used step-by-step instructions, but it had very like clear headings and just very
Mm,
simple language.
mm,
And yeah, which I found really easy to follow. And when I was buying the ingredients, I was just it kind of listed the ingredients separately from the instructions of how to cook it,
mm.
so it was easy to
Yeah.
shop. Yeah,
Beautiful. And
yeah,
sounds like that really reflected your learning experience in your Cert 4 as well, right? In terms of being able to watch and engage in that way. And then you can follow with the written and the doing in a way that makes sense
yes,
for you.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
cool. I'm getting hungry now just talking about it.
yeah, it was pretty good actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And another question about your learning. What do you like about learning?
I like I just like learning new things, and yeah, just like learning new things. It makes me feel good about myself.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't like the fact that I don't like, I thought I knew a lot, but I actually don't really know a lot at all. And learning makes me feel humble that I can, yeah,
Mm,
learn and be okay with that. So yeah, yeah, I find
mm.
it increases my confidence.
Yeah, great. Yeah. And it sounds like what you're talking about is really normal that once we start learning things, we realize how much we don't know and how much more there is to learn. So I think
Yeah.
that describes the arc beautifully. And that's great. So it sounds like that really empowering process of the more you learn, the more confident you feel.
Mm,
And the more you're able to guess to own that success and really acknowledge what you've done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the feedback from teachers is really important because sometimes, you're not quite sure how well you did with something. So getting that
Mm.
feedback is really important. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you value that feedback from your teachers as a way to kind of check am I on the right path? What do I need to do differently? And
Yeah.
yeah, stay on track. Cool.
Yeah.
And in the learning realm, what do you think you're good at? And it might be
Mm,
about tasks that you can do, like are you a good speaker? Are you good orally? Are your listening skills more developed? How do you go with numbers? Where do you reckon your strengths lie?
I think I'm good at reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm good at listening.
Mm.
And I am good at, I think I'm relatively good at writing, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you enjoy writing as well? Is it something that you like?
No, not really. I mean, I still find it hard to get the spelling right and things like that.
Mm.
But I think I'm okay. You know.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a skill that we're all learning and developing. So that makes sense that it's something you've done probably a little bit in cert for. I don't know, do you do it as part of your work at the moment? Are you currently working or?
So I'm unemployed, but I'm volunteering at the youth drop-in centre.
Yeah, right.
Out at Glenmore Park. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that involve, that volunteering role?
So it's really about getting to know young people and building rapport and trust and listening, providing some information maybe that's going to support them with where they're at. So maybe getting some case management, or we have a lot of young people that are at risk of homelessness, so we try to link them in with other agencies in Penrith. So we do a lot. So mostly though it's like youth work. I get to hang out with young people and we play ping pong and we write music together, and so we do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Sounds like really important and really rewarding and probably really hard work at the same time.
Yeah, I love it. It's really good because I feel like I've helped someone at the end of the day. And that makes me feel good about myself. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, you're doing a lot of that listening and that kind of active listening as part of your role.
Yeah.
And so that's great. It makes sense that those kind of speaking and listening skills are something you find that are well developed because they're so important to what you're doing now, and definitely for the diploma of counselling as well. They're foundational.
Yeah, I'd say my speaking skills and listening are probably sit higher than my writing skills or my reading skills. I really do struggle with reading, but writing is a little bit easier. So I'd say, more engaging with people is my strength.
Yeah, great. And so prior to this volunteering role, have you had other jobs or other volunteering positions?
Yeah, mostly just in hospitality.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And either in your hospitality roles or in your volunteering role, have you received any training?
On the job training, yep. So we had my boss at the time, he'd show me how to use the cash register, how to understand the menu and how to explain things to people about the menu, how to take orders correctly, so how to write them down efficiently. How to clear tables.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'd say I had on-the-job training. Yeah, a real mix. Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like real adaptability there on your behalf in terms of the skills you were learning and kind of shifting to that work, to that hospitality industry. That's really impressive.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think of it like that, but yeah, you're right.
In your current role or in your current volunteering role, do you do any writing? I know you mentioned you did some case management and maybe some referral work. Is there any writing involved in your position?
Well, often if we've got to write some case notes. So if we have a young person disclose anything around their home life where there might be some concerns there around their safety, we have to document that. Got to document that. I've had to call the duty of care kind of hotline, the well-being, I think it's called. I forget what it's called. It's like the mandatory reporting
Okay.
guideline. So the MRG, I think that's what it's called. I've had to use that and then phone up and make a report, and I had to document that. So I had to write that down. But I found that easy because it was something that I did.
Quite factual.
Yeah, it was factual. It was like, where versus I haven't had to really write reports or anything like that, which I don't think I'm very good at yet. Yeah.
Okay.
But I have taken notes.
Yeah.
And like in my hospitality job, I'd have to listen to people with what they were ordering, and I'd have to make sure I write it down correctly and, make sure we get the dietary requirements written down correctly as well. So I do have, I have kind of used those writing skills, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like there are some situations where you are using writing and it sounds like it's okay. It's not something that you cannot do at all. But like you said, you don't feel completely confident in writing long pieces of text.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And what about maths? Do you use any maths at work, either in your current role or maybe when you're in hospitality?
Yeah, I used a calculator and used the register, and
Okay.
also had to sometimes, like when I get change, if someone was using cash, I'd count back, from the money that they gave me to how much it cost, and then I count it back, and that was a real skill.
Okay.
So I'm quite actually good at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you feel quite confident with maths and counting.
Yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
don't think I'm a maths expert, but I
Yeah.
feel confident enough to count and add and
Yeah.
subtract. Yeah.
Well, lucky for me in particular, there's not much maths in counselling, so
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And I guess more broadly speaking about the skills you use at work or you have developed for work, what skills do you think you already have? And it could be around working as part of a team or using technology. You've already mentioned communication skills you find are quite strong. Taking initiative, perhaps. Where do you think your skills to work are strongest?
I think like my people skills, so communication. Don't know really. I can write, but I think, what else? I think I'm very punctual. Like I like to be on time. So I'm very respectful and very responsible. And I'll admit if I make a mistake, I'll put my hand up and say, yeah. I'll own that. This is what I did. Maybe I should have asked, or so I'm very responsible that way. So is that kind of what you're looking for, or?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you have that real professional attitude in terms of being punctual and being respectful to your team members. Your communication skills are developed. And it sounds like from what you're saying, you like to take initiative. So that's in trying new tasks. If you get it wrong, you'll say, yep, got it wrong.
Yeah.
What do I do differently? Yeah. That's great,
Yeah.
Mel.
So open to feedback and open to growing, I guess. So yeah.
Beautiful. Really important.
Yeah.
And in terms of studying the diploma of counselling, what skills do you want to develop more, and or what do you want to get out of the course?
I really want to develop the counselling skills. I really want to become a better listener, but really want to strengthen that helping professional role. So I notice with the work that I do with the young people, it kind of, because it's like a drop in, sometimes I don't always get to see the same people and I don't really know where they're at or what's happened. And so it'd be good to be able to do more of that work where I'm actually even starting off as a caseworker, you know what I mean? And really starting to see that I'm making a difference in someone else's life. So yeah, I think that's the most exciting part of the course that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, it's
Right.
learning those skills.
Really building on those interpersonal skills, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Yeah, great.
yeah.
Cool. All right, that's kind of pretty much all the questions I have to ask you today. One thing I forgot to cover at the start, which hopefully will be an easy question, is how old are you?
Oh, I'm 39.
39. Awesome. Thank you. I'll put that in there. Do you have any questions for me before we wrap up?
No. So what? So am I? When will I find out? Um, so is there anything that I need to do
Yeah.
after this, or what?
There you go. There's that initiative. So what will happen is we'll wrap up here, and I'm going to send you through two more screening tools that we use. And so when I say
Okay.
screening tools, there's just two more activities to do that'll give us an indication of your language literacy and numeracy skills.
Okay.
So one of them is a self-reflection where you can just, it's like a ticker box in terms of skills you can currently do or skills that you might currently struggle with.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, I'm sorry to say, is a writing task.
Okay.
It's not a test. It really is for us just to screen and ascertain where your level is and compare that to the level of the course. And so we can figure out, like we said at the start, what support options we have available to help you do your best
Okay.
in the Diploma of Counselling.
All right.
Because just like your Cert 4, there is lots of practical components to the diploma, but there is a fair bit of writing too. So we want
Okay.
to make sure that we're all going in as prepared as possible to make sure that you can get what you want out of the course.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds fair. All right. Well, look, I'll fill out those forms, those
Mm,
activities when you send them to me, and
yeah,
I'll send them back to you.
cool.
Yeah.
Great. So I'll email them through them. I'll email them through as soon as we hang up.
Okay.
And if you have any questions about it, just flick me an email back or just let me know if you want to make a time and we can chat.
Mm-hmm.
There is one thing I need to just clarify before I hang up, and that is when I said we were comparing, the skills you demonstrate to the course, I actually got the unit name wrong. So it is CHCCSL004, but it's Research and Applied Personality
Oh,
Theories.
that's all
And I
right.
said therapies. So
Ah,
my brain needs a break, I think. So on that note, we'll leave it there, but reach out if you do need anything.
all right. No worries. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Mel.